In the last days of 2021, President Joe Biden decided to grant the citizens of the United States an early Christmas bonus. The president announced that the repayment of the over 41 million federal student loans borrowed by Americans will be extended once again until May 1st, 2022. This piece of news was met with great relief and joy. However, what is the implication of this decision and what exactly does it mean for the average student? In today's video, we are going to be talking about Biden deciding to pause the student loans again and what you should do. Before we begin though, make sure to subscribe to Finance Hive and hit the bell icon for notifications. Now, let's get into it. Since the start of the pandemic lockdown in 2020, loan payments, interest accruals, and collections of defaulted federal student loans have been paused. The pause was a result of a series of policies and strategies which started with the CARES Act. After that, there were other extensions from former President Donald Trump, former Education Secretary Betsy DeVos, and now President Joe Biden. In the White House press statement, Biden stated the reason for the extension, quote, "We know that millions of student loan borrowers are still coping with the impacts of the pandemic and need some more time before resuming payments," end quote, he said. However, the president urged the borrowers to get ready for repayments. According to the statement, the extension provides a respite for repayments that were supposed to begin in February 2020. The news about the payment extension was met with cheers of joy and sighs of relief. With everything that is going on in the world right now, many exclaim that it is nice not to have to worry about that one financial obligation for now. According to the US Department of Education, the paused payments will be saving the borrowers about $5 billion a month. Following that logic, it seems the breather will save borrowers more than $115 billion by February 2022. Even with the extension, a survey conducted revealed that 49% of the participants said they are not confident if they will be able to make the student loan repayments by February 1st. After lots of considerations and deliberations, what was supposed to be the final extension was extended once again by 9 days to May 1st, 2022. This extension is put in place to provide more breathing room for those who have student loans to clear. It is not expected that this new pause will affect the Public Service Loan Forgiveness (PSLF) in any way. Even though there have been more extensions in the past, it is not expected that the extensions will continue in 2022. This is because of several reasons, like the great rebound of unemployment. The unemployment rate has drastically dropped to 4.2% from the high COVID-induced rate last year. Quote, "Now, while our jobs recovery is one of the strongest ever, with nearly 6 million jobs added this past year, the fewest Americans filing for unemployment in more than 50 years and overall unemployment at 4.2%. With the arrival of the Omicron variant, uncertainty has risen and the extensions were a welcome policy by all involved." According to the White House, the reprieve has benefited over 41 million Americans. This has emboldened many to call on President Biden to completely cancel student loans instead of suspending them. The White House has announced that the borrowers should not expect the payment freeze to last forever. According to the statement released by Biden's team, quote, "Meanwhile, the Department of Education will continue to work with borrowers to ensure they have the support they need to transition smoothly back into repayment and advance economic stability for their households and our nation. With the pause in repayment comes a window that you can use to climb out of your debt. It is often the first step towards saving and building a solid financial foundation. Out of mortgage debt and the interest of credit card debt, student loans have the lowest interest and it is the most flexible of the other options available. This means that it is not a piece of great financial advice to attempt to pay off student loans with a credit card. With this break in repayment, you might want to pause before rushing to pay off your student loans, and acquiring another form of debt might not be the best idea. This is just as true should the rules change again. There are some things you need to consider if you want to continue your payments in the student loan freeze when you don't have to. First, you have to be sure that you don't have some other debt with a bigger interest that needs paying off first. It makes more financial sense to pay off the debt with a bigger interest rate first to help position you well into the future. If you have the money and think it's better to pay off the loans before spending it, it might be a better idea to just place the money in a checking account for now. That helps hold on to your money and also keeps your options open. If there are no further changes, you can still make those payments in May when the respite is over. With the money in the checking account, you have to be very careful with those funds. You might be swayed by the strong market tides to take your money for a little spin. Keep in mind that the market is volatile and can take a nosedive at any moment. By choosing to wait till May 2022, you can maintain your flexibility. There is no telling if this extension is the last of it or if there will be a change in policy on or before the set date. By choosing to wait to see what the government will do, you are gaining a little hold on the situation. One of the hot topics currently discussed in the political realm is student loan forgiveness. You might come to regret paying off your student loans that could end up forgiven. Even if the loan is not forgiven, there might be a policy change that will work work in your favor, and it might hurt you if you feel like you jumped the gun. According to Mike Pierce, the executive director of the Student Borrower Protection Center, an organization that has been working on getting the government to extend the student loan relief, the last thing the nation needs is the start of the student loan system. He points out that little to nothing is known about the trajectory of the new variant, nor do we know when the pandemic will come to an end. With the great deal of uncertainty that everyone has to deal with, he just doesn't think it is fair that people add the stress of their student loan bills to it. Most defaulted borrowers are trying to balance too much, and they are standing on the edge of a knife as their financial situation is even more fraught than that of the average student loan borrower. The borrowers who are more likely to default are those who are people of color, some college to no degree, or those who work in low-wage jobs. Borrowers in default lose access to income-based repayment plans and can't fix their tax refunds or paychecks trimmed by the government. Although the tides may turn in the future, this is a much-needed respite for today. At the end of May, there might be a permanent end to the student loans or even another extension. There are several factors at play that might determine the fate of student loans in America. The Omicron variant is making its way and bringing with it waves of uncertainty. This uncertainty is reflected in the economy, which is affecting other aspects of the country. The Biden administration is also facing a great deal of pressure from the Democrats to do something about the student loans. While these factors are largely to thank for the extension, one has to wonder if they are enough to warrant another extension, or better still, the total cancellation of the student loans. Regardless, the best option might be to wait until May before deciding on what to do about your student loans. Who knows, your financial situation could even change drastically for the better within the 90 days of grace. Waiting and seeing what tomorrow holds might be the prudent step. Do you think the Biden administration will be the one to put an end to student loans? Let us know what you think in the comment sections. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to let us know. Also, don't forget to subscribe to Finance Hive and hit the bell icon so that you are notified whenever we post new content. Thanks for watching.